Hey there, it's me again. The last time we talked, I had just finished a run and I wasn't feeling great. I had this big headache and I kept pushing it away. I don't know if you remember, but I was not listening to what my body was trying to tell me. At the end of that video, I also touched on something important, reaching out for help when needed. In this video, Juleen and I want to share what happened when I went through 2 strokes in one day. But I also want to share another message. Today we're not just about talking about my stroke and why it's so critical to ask for help. It's about how hard it can be to actually do it. You know, it's saying, hey, I'm not well, I need help, and I can't handle this on my own, especially when your health is on the line.
On the other side, we need to recognize and offer help when one needs help. Even though we might experience rejection or resistance, because accepting help is a brave step and is a feeling of vulnerability.
So let's pause for a minute. Have you ever ignored work stress, a persistent cough, or you just powered through a headache like I did? Or you've looked back and wished you'd paid more attention to what your body was really telling you? And have you ever really been too hard on yourself, or you've been too hesitant to reach out for a helping hand? You know, what's been going on inside and what's going around during those difficult times?
Yep. And then there are people who we love struggle to ask for help no matter what. And I briefly remembered the sight. I was trying to digest what I see in my eyes with Andrew, eyes wide open, and his hands was in the air, and he was trying to tell me something, but he couldn't say a single thing. I think that sight was quite scary. So after a few seconds, Andrew was okay and he was walking away, thinking to go to bed. I knew it was bad, and I knew I had to do something really quick. So I called a doctor friend who told me that those were the pre-stroke symptoms and that I have to get him to the hospital as quick as I can. But it was really difficult talking to Andrew, trying to get him to the hospital. We tried different options and different approaches, and even my son came in, joined me, and trying to persuade him. And together with my daughter, there are 3 of us trying to move one person to go to the doctor and have a check. But in the end, we managed to get him into the car, and I was so relieved that we are on the way to the A&E hospital.
In that moment, you know, I was confused and on guard. You know, it's almost like protecting myself. And yeah, I was resisting to go into the hospital despite my stroke symptoms. But looking back, I now see my stubbornness. But the question really is why? You know, I didn't want to overact or cause a fuss. I was also, you know, mistaking that the stroke was just another migraine, because I've had them, you know, for over many years and always had them. And I've always prided myself on being self-sufficient. But this is one time I should have needed the warning signs. You know, and it was just, I needed help.
I dropped Andrew off at the A&E to get a number first while I go park the car. When I got into the A&E, he was already with the doctor, and the doctor turned around to me and said, well, we think, as Andrew said, he just had a very bad migraine. But I wasn't going to settle with that, because what I saw was something more serious, very serious. And then I described to the doctor what I saw, his hands, his eyes, and the fact that he's not able to speak, and I've never seen him like that before. The doctor then decided to keep him in observation and send him for a scan rather than discharge him.
So while Juleen was parking, the doctor then, you know, obviously gave me the symptoms, but I just downplayed it, and I was thinking why. And part of it was I was just tired, and it was at midnight, and I just wanted to get out of the hospital and go home. And the second thing is I just wanted to kind of focus on work for tomorrow, as I've got stuff to do. And so there's that kind of challenge with me, you know, to trust myself to make those decisions was obviously incredibly hard. And, you know, that's when I was scared to put my health first and scared of what it might happen going forwards. But it was great that Juleen was there.
So the next morning, early, after I dropped off the kids, I went to check on Andrew. I saw him on the bed and I asked him, "Are you okay?" And then he nodded his head, says, "Okay." But were you okay?
Well, that's the question. I mean, I just wanted to push this brave face to Juleen, but internal, I was just scary. And that night, I was all night I was alone, and I just had this painful memories coming up when, you know, my dad's cancer and his illness, and I just wanted to show, you know, that projection of that, you know, I show strong to our family and make sure everything's okay for me.
Yep. So then I thought, if you're okay, then I'll go for my breakfast, a quick one. When I came back after breakfast, he was nowhere to be found. He was not on his bed. And I was getting a bit nervous, so I asked the nurses, where is he? Where is Andrew? Where's my husband? And they were panicking. They didn't know, or they didn't really want to tell me. So that really made me scared and nervous.
The stroke just hit me again without any warning. You know, my right side went dead, all the way down from the head, my arm and my leg. You know, I couldn't talk, I couldn't find the words, all I could do was scream. And that's when the nurses just rushed me for my scan. And down in the corridor, you know, I was again alone. And, you know, it was just terrifying. And I think that's when I realized that, you know, my life was going to end.
When Andrew returns from the scan, his fears and his tears said it all. I felt compelled to pray for him. At that moment, a spiritual and divine relationship gives me strength.
As we conclude, keep in mind that a stroke's impact goes deep, touching the emotional lives of survivors and caregivers. It's bold to seek help, but this is even more important, to admit our vulnerability, and Juleen and I embrace that. And in the next video, I'll share why I started this series, hoping to offer insights that support and empower your own renewal journey. Thank you to everyone who's been with us on our journey so far, by listening and for you being here. And you know, you're helping more than you know.
So, take care of each other. Bye.
Thank you, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.